Quite as good to see you. It is a relatively warm day here in the coast of Virginia. It's heading up towards 64 or 65 degrees Fahrenheit, and we've been working coffee scoops this morning. And out there in the front of you, there is a bunch of spoons that we've been working on. I'm wanting to say from about October of 25 up to right now, and just a ton of them. Some of them are relatively done, others are what I call blank stage and everything. And this is that big one that we were working on the other day, and it's sword handled spoon, and it's still got some drying to do, but let this sit in the sunshine and stuff, so it's taking on the color. Then after it gets a color to it and fully dry, we'll give it a little bit more of a staining and sealing and everything like that. And here's another big project that we've been working on, and we'll get to that one here shortly. We're gonna probably put, like, I don't know, maybe a cross or something on it or something like that and everything. Liberty Bleed Silver, good to see you, man. All right, yeah, a cutlass. There you go. A cutlass spoon. Yeah. Old nasty piece of wood we picked up off the wood line, and when we first picked it up, it was like a sponge. And then we dried it and started cutting it and drying it. We can do a little more work in here, but when we finished cutting it, it was still kind of got some moisture in it, and we'll sand her down a little bit. But very unique color. It looks like it's got a big split, but really that's the colorization of the wood and stuff. And see, this one here was just a big old piece of wood that's laying around here. And I guess we're going to probably work right here and put some type of a cross or something, a little like rounded edge, like a pommel. I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah, it's for a serious dipper there. Yeah, that's right. You are so right. All right. So we'll put, as we do them, we'll put them over here. Then when other people come in, we'll show them again and stuff like that. So how you doing today, man? Good, good. It's like I said, it's warm here, man. It's about 64 Fahrenheit. They're talking about the potential for more snow and stuff, so we'll see. But everything's starting to green up and bud up, and the fruit trees are starting to get that red wood look to it, and all little fuzzy ends on them and stuff. But I'm working on this coffee scoop the last day or two, and it rained so hard over the weekend that, I mean, everything you touched had like the feeling of dampness to it and stuff. All right, let's take it on the screen here. All right, good to see you. Well, hello to you too. Hi. All right. Jamie, how's everything in the UK, man? Good to see you. I know you've been getting a lot of rain too, just like over here. It's crazy. Now we got another big weather event coming, probably next Monday or so. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Well, Aranea, good to see you. Hello. Thank you for saying hello. So, yeah. Okay. Anyway, like I said, we've been all these spoons are in various stages of done to not quite done, drying and stuff like that. And here's one that we did like a twisted wood pattern, and it's still drying, and then we can finish it up and kind of make sure that this side is rounded. But it kind of looks like it got twisted while it was wet, but it's pretty cool. All right, let's see here. Yeah, we're saying hello to you. You all right? Yeah, that twist was weird, man. That piece of wood was most unusual. Yeah, and see, we've got 3 little holes here, which tells me we had some spalting going on and everything. So, but it definitely needs to do some more drying and stuff. Yeah, it does. That's it's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Let's see, here's one here. There's an old piece of board out here in the backyard, and I was practicing a different technique. And this this one is almost dry, and I'm not sure where this board came from. It was just laying there, and I said, well, let's give it a try. Yeah. Yeah, that twisted one. You remember that one? Actually, it was like 3 or 4 of them, and I think I broke one. And then this next one came along, and I said, good luck. Yeah, yeah. So, all right. Well, we got 38 people in the room. We got 3 thumbs up. If you hit that thumbs up for me if you haven't subscribed and you have a channel. So, I'll come and visit you. And I've been teasing everybody. I call this the right handle spoon. This one's almost dry, and it's fatter over here. I mean, you could turn it, do it the other way you want it, or carve it the other way, and it'd be the left-handed spoon. But it was so spongy when we first got it that I didn't think it was going to hold together, but it's starting to really firm up, so we'll see. All right. We'll sand on this guy for a minute, then we'll keep on showing some of our other little collection here. Oh, well, you all remember this one. This was an old piece of spalted wood. And spalted wood is a piece of wood that's been lay there on the ground for so long that it just, it's literally about ready to fall apart. And I had to stop because it was like a sponge. But now it's firmed up so we can shape it up and stuff. And right on the head, good to see you. All right. That's ABF4, good to see you. All right. But we'll work on this one here in a day or few, and you can get it shaped up and stuff. But like I said, we had to, you actually can see where a limb was right here. And it was like all this spalting is where bacteria and bugs and beetles have all crawled through it. Then it just sealed up behind it. So, here's another piece of spalted wood, and it almost has the characteristics of fat wood. You can see kind of like a deep color. Yeah. All right. You're a woodpecker out there. Yesterday we had like dueling woodpeckers. One over on one side of the yard, the other one on this side, and like I said, all this is nothing that's been purchased. All this is just wood that I picked up out of the wood line, or actually here on my own property and stuff. So, all right. And if you've been watching this is that unusual ladle. And I didn't really think there's enough wood to do anything with, so that's how the ladle became such an unusual shape. And you can see where spalting had started right in here. And this is one seriously old piece of wood in here. This thing, we first got it, it was literally like a sponge. Yeah. Nancy Drew, good to see you. All right. Yeah, spalting, if you can get it to hold together and work and go easy and let it dry, and you get a day like this where you get a lot of sunshine and wind, you might be able to save it. So, but it's kind of like a burl, you know. If you can get burl wood to stabilize and everything like that, man, you've really got yourself a nice piece of wood to work with. And we got a number of burls around here on the property, and we'll see what we can do with them eventually. All right. Here's one that I didn't really think we could save this guy, but it was so wet. It was almost like I don't know, for the lack of a better term, like a sponge. It just, it was like it, and then when it dried, it looked like it got mummified. So we'll finish inside of here. It'd be a good little, like a coffee scoop or, sugar scoop or something. But you can see where the moisture had soaked up all up inside of there. this right here is this piece here, old piece of nectarine. We hear the crows. Yeah. Who needs a sound tracker? You got all this going on around you, right? I'll tell you. All right. Here's a pretty cool little scoop. It just needs to be sanded down and stuff, man. Yeah, it punky wood, man. It literally, a lot of this did turn punky, but if you take your time with it, you can resurrect it and give it a second chance. Yeah. Aussie Susan, it's good to see you. Yeah, did you see the bird video earlier today? That was pretty cool. They're right behind me. I got a female cardinal and a male cardinal and a bunch of sparrows. Of course, the squirrel just ran everybody off. He's looking at me like, yeah, Mr. David, I'm bigger than they are, so. But yeah, this one, neat little, like coffee scoop or something like that. It needs to be sanded down on this head and bring it down to, you know. Here's a old piece of wood that when I picked it up, it felt like it was light as could be. It almost like it was mummified. So yeah, awesome. Yeah, but if you take your time with the old piece of wood, you can resurrect it and give it a second chance. And here is one seriously big hunk of a plum tree that it literally was so wet it just like split. So I had to stop doing this, and we'll work on this one here in another week or two. But you can see where limb was, and then you can see where something happened right in here. And this particular tree got hit by another tree and cracked it during a severe thunderstorm. So Oakie's eating. Good to see you, man. Awesome. Good to see you. Very warm here today. Let's see here. It is 64 Fahrenheit, you know. So, but I have a feeling that things are going to turn back to winterish here very shortly. All right, here is a piece. What is this? This is nectarine. All right. It needs to be finished off, sanded down, thinned up, you know. So, I don't know. I mean, just like anything, when you first start out, it might be, but you'll get your rhythm going and stuff like that. And of course, we do a lot of videos, and we go right straight from the beginning to the end. But anyway, we got a color in this. And let this one sit out in the sunlight. Got a little bit of a crack right here, but we still got a lot of sanding to do, and can do the sawdust and glue trick. All right. So we'll sand this guy for a few, and then we'll move on to more of our collection. Things that are in stages of done and undone. I've got a little rack in the workshop, and I let things dry in there, and then on days where it's not raining, bring them out here and set them on the spoon mule here, and just let the sun and the wind and just the elements get to it. All right, check this one out. Here is a piece of spalted wood that literally was ready to just come apart, you know. So, and it still needs a little TLC. You can see it's got a hole that had developed right in here, and I had to stop and letting this dry. But that is just a piece of old stick limb that was picked up out in the wood line. Traveling Whitcombs, good to see you. Twin Acres, good to see you. All right. Oh, okay, even in commercial form. Yeah, awesome, man. But yeah, old spalted wood. Yeah, try to make everything get a second wind. And I've seen a time or two where a spoon will disintegrate or fall apart or break or something like that, and I've sawed off pieces of it and jointed together with another one and stuff. And Here is a scoop that really came out neat. And this was one ancient piece of wood here. It had laid up underneath the leaves over there and everything, but we were able to save it. Do you put names of people? No, I guess I never have. I mean, every once in a while I'd put a date on them or something like that, and even toyed with the idea of getting like a little branding iron or something. But I generally don't sell anything. I just carve it, and it just sits over here in the workshop. And then if somebody lives near me, you know, and they walk, hey, can I have that? Yeah. I'm old, retired, so I just kind of enjoy myself and carve spoons and wander the tree line and stuff and everything. Yeah. Yeah, branding iron might be a good idea. I'm thinking so too. Yeah. So, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, now this one here, this is just an old piece of nectarine wood that I managed to salvage from that busted tree. And, you know, we got like a basic shape in there, but it was kind of real moist back here. And you can see it was part of the upper part of the tree. Here's your limb. All right. Okay. Let's see what we got on here. Corner Club Cobalt. It's been a good while since I've seen you, my friend. How you doing? All right. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, well, do it to it. Leave a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Goodness gracious, you hear all the crows over there? Oh my goodness. Like 3 or 4 of them over there. Yeah, yep. And we got a bunch of doves. House finches. 2 squirrels. It's cloudy out here, windy and quite warm, so. Do I eat with them? Yeah, we've eaten, take them camping a number of times. There's a video coming out here in about a week or two. We're actually carved one of these spoons. Which one was it? This guy right here, we carved this one while we were sitting in the old hot tent. And sat there with the stove going and had a good old time. I figure what did we eat? Was it steak and peas or something? I don't know. That video will come out in a couple weeks. So anyway, we'll turn this guy like this. All right. Here's one of the forks that we carved the other day, and still got a little bit more we want to do on it, thin it up, the tines up, and shape it and everything like that. But everything was all kind of moist and spongy, and this was made out of a piece of nectarine wood. So yeah. Well, I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday, and life's treating you all right and stuff. Okay. Let's see who else is in here. Well, we got 19 people in the room. 11 thumbs up. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up or subscribed, go ahead and hit it for me. All right, here is a sanding block. You can get these from Amazon or get them in different grits. This is a 60, which is a good thing to take off a lot of material. And I cut a little sanding belt in 2 in my high-speed sander, you know. And these are hook knives. It allows you to work the bowl, and I mean, you can work any part of the spoon with these things, but when you get these, practice with them, because this will hurt you. This will mess your thumb up or your finger up or anything else. And this is a detail knife. You can find this on Amazon or a company called Beavercraft. I got another type of knife in there called a Sloyd, but really don't use it all that often. Now this is a piece of wood that laid out there in that wood line for a long time. I mean, a long time. I don't even know what this is, you know. So, all right, hiking with Jacket Boy. Good to see you, man. Yeah, but that is. So if anybody knows what this wood is, I thought it was cedar, but I started carving little notches in there for your fingers, and this one's in the final stages of drying, so we'll get it finally shaped here. But this is a most unusual piece of wood. A tavern's knife? I do not have a tavern's knife. I do not. To be honest with you, I don't even know what a tavern's knife is. Tell us about it. I'd love to hear about that, you know. Yeah, the notches, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, all right. All right. Here is a spoon that we were making from one seriously ancient piece of spalted wood. And just like all the other ones, I had to stop to a certain point, allow for drying to go on. And it kind of looks like there's a little bit of an imperfection in here, which is not that big of a deal. That can be fixed. But that's spalt line. This is crazy, isn't it? Yeah. There's another piece that was just all but dead, punky, you know. Yeah. A lot of birds out here. A lot of birds. All right. I've got 22 people in the room. Yeah. I'll see here. Call 190. Like I said, I don't know what a tavern's knife is. I don't think I've ever heard of that, but. Okay. Here is what I believe to be cedar. It too was ancient, and I had to stop working on it, let it dry. And sometimes you have to let things dry for a good while, so it reconstitutes itself. JRH, good to see you, man. Welcome in. We're looking at a bunch of spoons that we've carved since about October of 2025 up to about right now. You know, our winter projects, our cold weather stuff. Here's a little coffee scoop that we've been working on for the last few days, and the weather has not cooperated with me all that much. And all right, let's see here. Here is a scoop that I was using. I had a big old vat in there, cabinet of lima beans and string bean seeds and stuff, and I would kept this thing in there, and I would scoop out, you know, seeds and bring them in a little bucket into the garden and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I like making spoons from old trees and stuff, and I guess I'm blessed in having a lot of trees all around me, both on my property and across the way over there, that I can just wander around and do my thing. But I'm gonna sand this thing down and freshen it up and stuff, and you can see where the main part of the tree was right there. And I'm going to say this is plum wood. Fruit trees make pretty spoons. They certainly do. Absolutely. Okay. Let's see who else is up here real quick. Dead Wolf Resistance, man. Good to see you. All right. Yeah. And the rings are way bigger. It might not even the spoons break the spoon. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. Let's turn this guy like this. I got a couple of these really, they're lightweight vices. And I think I'm gonna get myself a little bit more robust of a vise, and makes it where I can grip onto things and stuff. And if I really worried about messing something up, put like a paper towel or old t-shirt or something in there. But this is a low budget old man operation, if that makes any sense. Yep. Here is a spoon or a scoop that I had to stop on because it just it was literally falling apart. You can see how the crack started to develop. And I wanted to say this is a piece of it's either maple or elm, I can't remember, but it was old and it looked like it still had a little bit of character left in it. So we'll see what we can't do with this backside here. So I hear you, birdies. All right. A bartender's knife. Okay. I have not seen one, but yeah. Well, thank you for that information. I appreciate that. Bartender's knife. I have to look that up. I don't even know what that is. So I'm just like I said, detail, Sloyd. Sometimes when I'm out there in the wood line, I'll pull this out, and nothing special, just old knife you fit in your pocket, but it does a good job. Hear that wind out there? I mean, everything's like dancing around the yard and all that good stuff. Here is an old piece of plum wood. It got damaged like last summer, and I laid it up there in the workshop for a long time, letting it dry. And you can see right here where the limb was at and stuff like that. Anyway, here is a fork. This one is old. I just recently resanded it, I guess like Thanksgiving time, first part of December. But I carved this thing probably, I don't know, years ago. I know that. I don't know when, but it's pretty cool. Ancient old wood. It ain't dead yet. Yeah. All right. Here is a piece of, goodness, let me think now. Let's take a look at the color. I started carving it when it was still green. What was that? Well, probably plum, yeah. I think it got damaged during that storm that we're talking about. And I had to stop because you got a split going. And you had one starting here. And then you had the wood kind of did a crack right here. So we're going to have to work with it a little bit. All right. So, and there's still a few more in there that I didn't pull out because they were still up on that drying rack and stuff. But I'll show you these here in a minute. And I'll go through like this period where I'll do spoons. And every once in a while I'll switch to forks. And then I'll go through like a 2 or 3 week period where it's like coffee spoons or little scoops and stuff. All right there, Twin Brook Acres, and get your work done. All right, man. Take care. Fuzzy Adventures, good to see you, man. How's everything? Yep, be safe. A lot of crazy weather all over the place out here. Not just here in the USA, but everywhere. It's either heat related, cold related. That you see that big avalanche that happened down in the western part of the U.S. It's like 16 people uh, missing. I think they found a few, but that's a lot of snow, man. And I hear California is supposed to get like upwards of 12 feet of snow up in the northern part of the state. So, and then the south part of the state is supposed to get like this humongous amount of rain. And we're kind of watching that same storm. It'll be here like this coming Monday. It'll take that long to get across the United States. And all right, let's take a look. Here's a big old spoon. I was just messing around with it, doing some little carving on it and stuff, and yeah, almost reminds me like remember them cookies, like vanilla wafers? Yeah, yeah. It had a really unusual bad spot right here, and it made it where you had to go thin. So we'll do some sanding down on it, and all right. Let's turn you around there, Mr. Coffee Scoop. And we'll get our high-powered sander here. All right, take a look. Here's a nice little scoop here. Put that in your little coffee canister or something like that. And yeah, crazy weather everywhere. I know you know what I'm talking about there, Susan. Yeah. Yeah, crazy hot, crazy cold, everywhere. It's just, but this one, it came out nice. Letting it dry now, and then we'll put a little bit more of that food safe sealant on it, and let it dry out here in the natural air and stuff. All right, let's break out our high-speed sander again. Hear the woodpecker out there? Now this right here is a store-bought piece of something, but I use this as a stencil, and I'll lay this on a piece of wood and try to stencil it out and stuff. And it's got pretty good dimensions. You can shorten up the handle based on what it is that you want to do or how you want to do it. So yeah, I appreciate that. Yep. This is that one we were working last time we did live. This is that sword handled spoon, and it's still drying, but we need a little more sanding in it. But one really old ancient piece of wood here. You can tell it's drying because you got this different colors that come up through here. You can see the growth rings swirling up through here. Now this one right here, this was made from one seriously ancient piece of wood. That is some serious spalting up in there. There wasn't enough left of this limb to even call it a limb, but it would work just fine in your coffee scoop, sugar scoop. Well, Nancy, I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. All right. Old pieces of wood, and here's that one that had a twisted pattern in it, almost like rope. Or you ever seen people where they're forging out knives or other metal objects, and they get it and they twist and twist and twist and everything like that. But it's almost dry, so we'll be able to finish this guy. All right. Here are a couple of really just old basic coffee type scoops, or any type of scoop, I guess you want to. But a cedar wood. As old as it is, you can still smell cedar. Yeah. I believe we're going to light the grill up today and grill something. I believe so. We don't get too many warm days like we got here today. Now here is a piece of wood that we worked on like the end of October. And when I picked it up, it almost like it had a piece of metal in it. And that metal discolored it. And pretty unusual pattern in it. I'm not sure how well you can see all this, but and pretty much all these spoons have been worked in shorts, video shorts, so you can see them again. And there's still a few more over there in the workshop that I didn't do anything with. Here you go. This is a piece of nectarine wood, like the fruit you eat from the grocery store, or if you're growing it, but nectarine wood. All right. Fuzzy Adventures, good to see you. I've got some more videos on the channel right now. All right, man, take care of yourself. It's good to you. Glad to have you drop in. Take care of yourself. All right. Here are a couple of scoops that need to be shaped. And this one here was a scoop that had a natural curve to it, and we were fortunate enough to find it, and we were able to carve it into spoon / scoop shape. And here's another one that really came out nice. I'm going to say this was about a couple months ago, right around Christmas time. Let's see here. I am also close to a milestone on the channel. What milestone is that? Shout it out, yeah, so we'll know. I have no problem with anybody sharing good news. Yeah, at all. Yeah. All right. Nice little scoop. Need to finish sanding it. All right. Square scoop. This one's seriously an old piece of wood. Look at this thing. Square scoop. Need to finish it right up in here. There you go. I call this one the dragon tail. That's pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Well, that's our collection for the most part. From late October of 2025 to this point. There's still, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 more in there that are on the drying rack. But that's what we're doing, and it's like I said, it's a warm day. I've got short sleeves on and stuff, and this time yesterday you wouldn't have been doing that, but being that this is the coast, it does whatever it wants to do and stuff. Hear all the crows, everything's just like birds everywhere. It's like the wild kingdom over here. Possums, raccoons. Seen a fox run by yesterday morning. And yeah, I'm glad it's warmed up too. I'm ready for some spring, but I am convinced that too cold is about as bad as too hot. It just doesn't allow you to live life, how you want to live it. You're kind of dodging in, trying to get into some coolness, air conditioning, colder in the cold like it was. I mean, you can't really do a lot of stuff because your hands are all covered and all that stuff. But yeah, too cold is about the same as too hot, and too snowy is about the same as too wet. Anyway, let's sand this thing for a few minutes, and I got a bunch of sticks, junk sticks that we pulverized because they were just nothing left of them, and need to get that picked up. And we get all that rain they're talking about. I mean, it's stuff's gonna be everywhere again. But okay, well, I do appreciate everybody spending time with me and looking at our little collection here, and that's what we just looked at, a pile over there on that little table. And this is our little thing called a spoon mule. It's got a clutch assembly. You sit on the back part right back there, and you put your feet down on the bottom, and you can grip onto your project. And here's a old piece of wood that we were just practicing with, and so. But that's what we've been doing, and you hear the coal trains out there disconnecting and stuff. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for joining in with us, and we will see you again. All right, don't forget to watch Bird Bath Wednesday.